Hey everyone, welcome to The Creek. My name is Jared Miller and I'm the ministry lead here. And one of the challenges of doing ministry during a pandemic time is that it's really hard to keep focused on what's really important. I had a professor who used to say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't let the big things that are important get thrown out when you throw out the old things, because sometimes it's important to throw out old things. Sometimes it's important to make changes and pivot and learn and new ways of doing ministry. Sometimes it's important to engage in a little bit of reformation. That's part of what we're trying to do here at the Creek. And we've been inspired by the story of Nehemiah. Nehemiah, if you remember, is a story about rebuilding capacity for ministry in a place where ministry has fallen apart, where it's collapsed and where the walls have holes in them. Nehemiah is a story of rebuilding those walls, rebuilding capacity for ministry. The walls are not the goal. The walls enable the goal to happen. And Nehemiah arrives and expects that things are going to go in a certain direction. He expects that the orders of the king are going to be followed. He expects that he's going to be able to complete this project that has the support of the people at the top. And he gets into the city and things are just different. There's conflict, there's challenges, and there is direct opposition to the work commencing. And so Nehemiah learns he has to pivot. He has to focus on changing his expectations from what they were to what they need to be. And so he teaches the people how to build, not just in small groups so that everybody can be involved, but so that the people can build with a sword in one hand and a hammer in the other. It's really easy, or it would have been really easy for Nehemiah to think that in this time of pivoting, that it's more important than ever that he's just focused all of his attention on the walls. But Nehemiah doesn't do that. As much as Nehemiah is focused on bringing his vision for this rebuilt capacity for ministry to life, he still looks around the city and sees what's happening. He still looks and sees the poor being marginalized, the widows being oppressed, aliens in the land not being taken care of. He looks and he sees the important things that the people of God were always supposed to be about not being done. Back at the beginning, the promise to God's people had been that they were going to be a blessing to the world, and so God was going to bless them. That was the agreement. And when and if the people of God stop being a blessing to other people, the prophets have reminded the people again and again and again that that's when God stops blessing them. And so Nehemiah looks and sees unfair taxes being levied. He sees interest being collected, and he sees oppression being wrought. Nehemiah understands that even during a pivot, something has to be done about this. The big things are still the big things. The important things are still important. Even in a pivot, as we learn new ways of doing things, we cannot ever lose sight of what is truly important to us as the people of God. Whether when we are building life together, south of Fish Creek, as we are helping people find themselves in God's story, these are the big, important, essential pieces that can never be sacrificed for the sake of a pivot. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Never lose sight of what really matters, even as you learn new things, even as you seek to reform ministry. We'll pick the story up there next time. For now, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll talk to you soon. All the best. Cheers.